Hi guys, it's Maddie from 2PT's Perspective. I'm talking again from St. Louis University, or SLU, and today I'm going to be going over the reasons why I chose St. Louis University and why I'm here in the first place. So I'm going to go through the major 3 reasons why I'm here separately, and then Dana's going to be able to kind of compare and contrast how she picked a school and how she ended up where she went to college, as well as even maybe where she ended up at, or how she ended up at Smith PT, I should say. So I'm going to start with number 1, and it's kind of 2 lumped together, but they go hand in hand. So location and size. So St. Louis University is located in St. Louis, Missouri. So it's pretty downtown. I mean, it's not all the way east. It's not like ridiculously close to the Illinois border, but it's pretty close. It's only a few miles. It's really, really close to Illinois. We're located in a very centralized area in St. Louis, like I just said. We can get really close to the restaurants that are downtown St. Louis. We can get easily to the Cardinal Stadium, the train station to get home. But we can also get to areas like Central West End. We can go to the Tower Grove area. There's a lot of very close things. We're actually located right next to the Art and Theater District, which is super cool because just a walk down the street, literally less than a quarter mile, is the Fox Theater. And this year they are playing right now Dear Evan Hansen, next Wicked, and then the end of the year they are playing Hamilton. So it's a pretty big theater. So that's really cool. We have access to a lot of things. And that was a really big deal for me. I wanted to be in an urban area because I wanted to be in a place that I could live for a few years after graduating and know that there'd be internships and jobs and things for me to do. And it wasn't like I was just living in this bubble of a college town in the middle of a rural area where I wouldn't really have a lot of options if I wanted to stay. So that was one of my big things. That also kind of goes along with size. I wanted to be at a more mid-sized school, but I also wanted to be in an urban area. So I wanted a lot of people surrounding me, but my school itself to be slightly smaller. So St. Louis University has about 12,000 students, I think, and I believe only 8,000 are undergrads, so the rest of them are graduate students. Our freshman class this year is actually the largest they've ever had. So it is growing a little bit, which is kind of cool. More and more people are choosing St. Louis, and I'm sure a lot of their reasons are similar to what mine are. So that is my first kind of thing. I wanted to be in an urban area, and I wanted to be in a location that I liked, which obviously I like St. Louis. For the most part, there are weird things, and yes, it can be unsafe if you walk in the wrong places, but that's just like any city, and really any area. If you're on a college campus, there's going to be places that aren't totally that safe, and that's just how it is. But so yes, there was the location and then the size. So that mid-size feel, we have about 12,000 students, so you see people you know every day, but you also see people that you don't know, which is kind of cool. There's always places or people to meet. I'm sure I'll be meeting people in all my 6 years here, which is really, really cool to me. But yet again, it's not like super, super huge. That was one of my fears. I didn't want a huge school because I did want that one-on-one connection with my teachers. I have smaller class sizes because it is a mid-sized school, and I didn't want to not know anyone walking throughout campus because there were so many people. I figured that'd be a little overwhelming, and since it's not that big of a campus, or not that large a population of students, the campus is slightly smaller, which is nice because you walk to everything, and you don't need a bike. You don't really need like a car to get around campus, which is super nice. So those are the first 2 things. Well, first thing, I guess, are location and size. Secondly, I chose St. Louis because of their Jesuit values. So at first I didn't really know what Jesuit value was. I'd been looking at other schools and I was like, I don't really know what Jesuit means, and I was looking at multiple schools that were Jesuit. And the more that I learned about them, the more I actually learned to like them, and now that I'm here, the more that I genuinely appreciate that I picked a school like this. So the whole Jesuit mission and identity is to teach to the whole person. So we're required to take things like philosophy, theology, which not all schools have to do. We also have to take a fine arts credit. They really want us to be well-versed, which I appreciate. They also have a huge, huge vision of mission, or huge mission to do service to the community. Sorry, that came out a little weird. So, like I said, they want to give service to the people around us, and that kind of explains why we're in a more urban setting. And a lot of Jesuit schools are located in an urban setting. For example, Marquette is a Jesuit school. They're located in Milwaukee. We have Loyola, which is downtown Chicago. So they are all Jesuit schools, and they're located close to a city where they can really help people, because not only do I want to do service to the students of my school, but service to the general community and area of the university itself, which is super cool. SLU also has, like I said, big focus on volunteering. Our first couple days here, they had all the freshmen do a service opportunity, which I thought was super cool. So that means that every student that has been through SLU has done a service opportunity through the school, which is really cool, because not all schools require that. Here we have a lot of classes that require service hours, so it's just kind of built into the curriculum, which is really nice. And as someone that came from volunteering a lot in high school, I wanted to be at a place that I knew that when and if I wanted to volunteer, I could find it easily. And I can totally do that here, whether it be through clubs, my sorority, or just through the school itself. We have a lot of options, and they make it really accessible, which is very cool. So that was the second major thing. I liked their mission, and it is Jesuit school. Like I said, I don't identify, I guess Jesuit is like a faith-based Christian Catholic thing. I'm not Catholic, but I don't feel out of place here, and obviously I didn't pick it because I was like, oh, I wanted to go to a Catholic school. Now that I'm here, I love the Jesuit mission, and a big reason I chose it, even though I didn't realize it, was because of their Jesuit values. And lastly, and pretty much why I'm here, is because they had a doctorate of physical therapy program. So that is the third reason. They have a 6-year accelerated DPT program, and not many schools in the US have that, surprisingly. Majority of people that are physical therapists at the moment went to a 4-year university, and then they transferred, or they stayed at the same school and applied to be in either a master's or a doctorate program. The shift between a master's degree and a doctorate degree just kind of happened within the PT world, so it's relatively newer. I don't know exactly when that shift was, but it wasn't that long ago. So, like I said, a lot of kids went to 4-year universities and then transferred. I did not want to have to be able to, one, I didn't want to transfer, or I just figured it'd be easier, and two, I didn't want to have to reapply to a program. I'm already in a 6-year program. I just have to maintain a GPA. I don't necessarily have to have the highest, and I don't necessarily have to have the lowest, obviously. You don't want to have the lowest, but it means that I can kind of work a little bit more with my peers. It's not as much of a competition, because we all want everyone to stay in the program. We're not sitting here fighting for spots like you would be at some of the other schools. We are all already in. People are not allowed to apply. If you're not in the PT program at St. Louis by your freshman year, when you enter the school, you're not going to be in it, which is kind of unique to the school. So kids that realize later they want to be a PT, they do have to find a different school. But it is nice for people like me who chose this career early on, or chose this path, I should say, and we're able to kind of start right away, which is super, super nice. And like I said, it makes it a lot less competitive. Everyone wants to help each other out. It's not like, why would I help them because we're going to be competing for spots next year? It's not like that at all. And I just really wanted that ease of mind. That being said, since I wanted to find a doctorate of physical therapy program that was a 6-year program, that also means that I cut off a year. Kids that go to a 4-year, then transfer to a doctorate level program, that's another 3 years. That's 7 years. I did want that accelerated program as well. But what I was saying with that is that I wanted to find that type of program in the Midwest because I didn't want to go super far from home, because I didn't want to have to fly home. Well, looking for 6-year programs for PT in the Midwest, there's really only 3 or 4, and I looked at 3 major ones, and I ended up here, and that was a lot because location, size, and the Jesuit values, which I just talked about, but there are not a lot of schools, so that kind of narrowed down my choices really quickly, which is a blessing and a curse, because who knows, I could have looked somewhere else and loved something else just as much. Obviously, I love that I'm here. I love the school a ton, and I wouldn't change it for anything, but again, it did narrow my choices down really quick, so I didn't really have that opportunity to look at a ton of schools, but I don't really think that was a bad thing. I had a lot of friends that applied to upwards of 10 schools, and that's a lot. I only applied to 3, and I really only had to worry about those 3, which was super nice. And that was mostly because they all had doctorate of physical therapy programs that were 6-year accelerated degrees. And that's what I wanted, and I was really strict about that. And that's pretty much the biggest reason why I chose St. Louis University. Because if they did not have that program, as much as I like this school, that would have been a deal breaker for me, and it was a deal breaker for other schools. So that was really a big thing. But overall, those are the main reasons that I chose St. Louis University. So I send everyone hello from Smith Physical Therapy, and hi to Dana. But yeah, that those are the reasons why I'm here, and if anyone has any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I look forward to hearing Dana's side of everything as well.
Hey Maddie, so great to see you in your videos. I am excited to kind of go down memory lane and think about what helped me choose going to school at Bradley, similar to the decision-making process that you had and why you chose going to St. Louis University. I'm in between treating patients right now, so hopefully I can get all of this filmed before my next client gets here, so fingers crossed on that one. I actually made a list of everything that I wanted to say because I wanted to make sure to respond to your comments also. I think that you looked a little bit more closely at the values of your university versus when I went to school. I don't think I really paid attention to that when I was choosing Bradley, but I did want a school that was not religiously affiliated, and so that was a factor in my decision-making process. Also, when I was looking too, kind of like you, I was limited by geography. I didn't want to go too far away from home. I was kind of comfortable within like a 3 to 5 hour radius from, I grew up in Arlington Heights, so from the Arlington Heights, Illinois area, and at that time there were actually a lot less PT programs than there are now. So I was very limited in the schools that I could even consider applying to in the first place. So by process of elimination of all of those other schools, Bradley was on that list. Marquette, Northwestern, and Indiana University were also kind of in my top 5 schools that I was looking at the time. Another reason that I chose Bradley, which is very similar to your program, is that they had direct admission into the PT program. So as a freshman, or as I was applying for college, I applied to the physical therapy, as a physical therapy major, got into the program, and like you, as long as I maintained a certain GPA, I don't remember specifically what it was, but as long as I maintained the GPA and met all of the prerequisite requirements for the program, I had to kind of reapply before I began the professional phase of the PT program and of that curriculum. But otherwise, similar to you, it was pretty much, as long as you did what you were supposed to do, you were going to be able to continue through the program. It wasn't like I was going to finish 2 or 3 years of undergrad work and then really have to worry about trying to get into the program or having to transfer to another school to finish my degree. So very similar in that. It was very comforting and reassuring to know that I wasn't going to have to go through that process like so many of my colleagues and friends have had to do in the past. So I have 2 more reasons and things that I really was drawn to with Bradley. First of all, our program was all at the same location on campus. I had applied to, like I mentioned before, Indiana University, and I really did like that school, but after the first 2 years of undergrad work in Bloomington, I don't know if it's the same way now, but you had to transfer to Indianapolis for the final 2 or 3 years of their PT program, and that really didn't appeal to me very much. I felt like as soon as I got comfortable in one location and made friends outside of the PT program, I would have to relocate and kind of start over again. And at the time that made me feel a little nervous and apprehensive, so I wasn't real sold on that process. Bradley's program was all in Peoria on that campus, and aside from having to go off campus for different our clinical affiliations, everything was in one place. So that was a lot more reassuring to me. And then the last reason that I chose Bradley was that when I went to visit the school, I really was just very comfortable there. I liked the campus. I liked the activities that they offered. I don't know, I went there and it felt very homey and very comfortable to me, and so I kind of went with my gut instinct on that, and that was the final thing that really helped me solidify my choice and choose to go to Bradley. So I hope that you're doing well, and it was kind of exciting to see how many similarities there still are in that decision-making process, and I hope that this helps other kids that are trying to figure out where they want to go to school kind of narrow it down. But yeah, a lot of the same things still. So take care. I will see you again soon in our next video. And you know what? I might try and pop in and ask one of the other therapists if she wouldn't mind sharing her story real quick on how she chose the school that she went to. So take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye, Maddie. Hey again, Maddie, I'm back, and guess what? I was able to steal Ashley in between some patients. So here she is.
Hello.
Ashley. Would you mind sharing with Maddie how you chose the PT school that you went to?
Sure. So my story is a little unique in the fact that I originally thought I was going to be pre-med, and then sophomore year of college I wanted to be PA, and then I realized that I wanted to do PT. And so when that came to be, I applied to basically all the local schools and found back first from Northwestern in Chicago. And they're a little sneaky, or they were at the time, because they make you commit a deposit before you even start hearing from other schools. And so I wasn't going to turn down a entry into a really great program, and so that's what kind of led me to Northwestern. So it was a little bit of fate, but also in general, Northwestern is a fantastic school, and so I feel like it was a really great choice for me.
Yeah, so I thought it would be good to hear from someone who had a different experience than you and I had in terms of a direct admission program versus someone who had to find a program kind of midway through school. So thanks for sharing your story.
Happy to pop in. Hi, Maddie.
Yeah, any other messages for Maddie?
No, we miss you.
We do miss you. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.